Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So I'm gonna just simply hop into it and kind of explain what this mission has entailed for us. So I'll be flying against the Nakajima Ki-27, while I fly the Curtis Hawk 81A2, which is basically the P-40. So I'll show you what these guys have. So here's essentially what I'll be fighting against, and the skin I'll be using to fight it. It has a skill of an ace with start time of our start altitude height of 2,000 meters. I will be starting that as well. Imperial Japanese Navy, just so I can get the skin blue. Even though I think it really would be the Imperial Japanese Army, most likely. So that's what we'll be fighting against. And then right here, I'll be flying this, and the reason why I chose this one instead of like the P-40B is because it actually showed me, or it gave me the Flying Tiger skin right here. So I was like, oh, heck yeah. So it's essentially the exact same thing. So I'll have the skill of an ace. Don't really think that matters anything. I will be pulling a decent amount of G's in this video, though. So start height of 2,000 meters, roughly around there. So China, of course, red. And that's essentially what I'll be doing in this mission. We'll just go head on face to face. So on a Chinese map, or Chinese design map with Chinese topography, from what I can tell. So that's basically it. The rules I'll have for the series, and in case I amend them, they will be amended. So the rules will be, or like the battle rules I've created for this series is in the description of the video. So and I'll explain kind of the rules, especially during the rounds, and simple commentary and analyzation. So anything like that will be done through the video. Basically it. If you want to know what the rules are, just check the link in the description, and that should basically explain everything. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, the beginning of round one, let's see how it goes. So as you can tell, which has made it immediately apparent, I have a traditional front and rear sight post. So yeah, I'll have to deal with the parallax shifting, whereas like the more modern now, but like not really necessarily modern, but the updates to this aircraft had a reflector gun sight, which didn't have that problem with the parallax shifting. If your target was on target, that was where the rounds were going to go. So we merge right here, and then we try to roll around. I was hoping to get somewhere, but I just wasn't able to get anywhere with this aircraft. I dived down to see if he actually still follows, and he was kind of breaking away. So I pushed my luck right here, and we get into a merge situation as I bring on some intense G's. I fire my rounds out, knowing that I have at least 2 front guns. I don't appear to do any damage right there, though it was somewhat tense, and I basically just try to dive away, or at least in a sort of dive angle, as I try to look behind me. But though I'm getting away further, he is on my tail. Even in the dive, I'm not able to get away fast enough. So I pull right here, hoping I can get into another merge situation. I just give up on it and decide to keep my speed as best I can, as he just slots in right behind me. Like it was the easiest thing for him to do in the world. He does not have to worry about his wings ripping apart or any compression issues. So he basically just slots in right behind me, and I have no idea what to do at this point. So I kind of turn, hoping something, as he gets shots on my elevator and aileron. There is nothing I can do at this point, and I basically just try to pull up as much as I can to suspend power, open my canopy, and bail out, because there's nothing I can really do. So since he forced me to bail out, he wins the round, and then my aircraft falls and crashes into the ground. So round one goes to him. Alright, I lost the first round. Was it on me? Kind of. I didn't expect this aircraft to perform that chaotically and that proficiently. So I tried to figure out my gun sight right here, and just start throwing rounds out, because I'm going to hit him somewhat. At least I hope I hit him somewhere. So I shoot some rounds out. I turn down as I rotate, and I try for another sort of head-on situation, or at least try to. So I pull up right here, take on some G's, fire some rounds out. Don't think I hit my target at the time, so I flip around again and try it again, I guess. And then I pull on 2 intensive G's, and then I somewhat recover, but now it's changed the aspect of the fight as I G-lock again. So I'm basically trying to figure out where the grounds is and where I am, and I pop out in a weird angle that I did not expect. One of my guns gets jammed, and now I'm diving away, freaking out because I had no idea where I was. I G-locked. I didn't even know if I was up, down, left, right, sideways, as I try to dive away as fast as I can, and he is just having no problem keeping up with me in a dive and shooting me. Knowing my situation, there's no way I can actually successfully survive this engagement as I open up my canopy and bail out once again. I mean, look how he was in complete control of this fight. I wasn't mentally with it in this engagement, and I just figured it was better to bail out and survive, even though he still wants the round. Alright, I lost the first and second round. Those were on me, and I didn't expect the performance, or that level of performance from the Ki-27. I had pictured it to be a lot slower and turn well, but not to the degree of what I thought. So try to figure out the gun sight right here, as I'm being very liberal with my ammo, just trying to get as many shots as possible. Because at the end of the day, he's still a paper tiger. If I can hit him and do a relatively decent level of damage, he will be screwed. So I pull down right here, as I expected him to turn right behind me, but he didn't. And even with the sun in my face, we get into a head-on merge, as I basically even just gun sight, hell with it. I tried to shoot as much as I can, and I actually did end up hitting his oil as he just starts spewing out smoke. So I was very actually relieved to see that, because he is now living on borrowed time. So as long as he doesn't shoot me or isn't super aggressive, I have basically won. So that's what I'm banking on at the moment, and I'm just trying not to die. So I try to pull G's and try to get my gun on him, because even though he's still in the air, he's still a threat. Throw some rounds out. Don't expect those to hit, but I just wanted to throw them out, because when in doubt, if I hit something, Japanese aircraft have very weak wings. So if I was to shoot off a wing, that would be game over for him. So I'm just trying to get some shots off. So so I pull around right here, and I am hoping, so yeah, as I pull up, he's actually going to stall, like go into like a stall climb right here, and he's going very slow. So even though I'm decently far away, I'm just throwing rounds out, because maybe I'll hit him and do enough damage to him, especially if I hit a wing or something like that and I can detach it. Anything will be awesome at this point, but I don't appear to cause too much damage, if any at all. So I'm actually really excited right here, and then I'm not excited because I thought I could slot in right behind him, but it didn't seem to be the case. He still very much can control this fight if he wants to be aggressive. And even though he slots right behind me right here, he is not being very aggressive, as his attitude, his nose is actually not on me. It's slightly off to my left as I look back on my right side. So I flip back, like I turn right here, just trying to see where he's at and what his angle is, essentially. So I pull up right here and I look at him, and right now we're in another head-on situation, and as soon as I get my sight on him and I fire, he breaks off. I mean immediately. He's in no position to continue fighting, even though he can pull maneuvers like that and just simply turn away. So I dive around, and right here actually I do cut out a bit of the crap. So I jump cut right here because there's a whole lot of just nothing, but I fire right here as I get behind him, get a couple good shots. You know, I hit the back of his canopy, but I don't appear to actually hit the pilot. And if so, it was very much a flesh wound, very minor. But as you can see with his low flight turns, he's very much kind of approaching the end of his limits as his borrowed time is now coming to a close. And especially since if, you know, a slow P-40 can get on his tail, you know he's in a very non-winnable situation, as he actually goes for right here a landing approach. So as you can see right here, as I cut again, he is now landed on the ground. So he opens up his canopy and his pilot gets out, but I look right here and I just basically turn, as in just to confirm, look at it, and maybe see if I can actually strafe the aircraft, or, you know, do something cheeky. But actually right here I can see the pilot run from the vehicle. He's a little white dot. As I throw some rounds out, and then I pull up immediately because I'm afraid of crashing into the ground. But that confirms that I win the round. Alright, round 4. Let's see how this goes. So I could have a comeback, and that could be awesome. So he currently has 2 points and I currently have 1. So again, he tries for this vertical sort of aspect, and I shoot my rounds out just like round 3, but he appears to survive it. So I roll down and then roll away. I break from it. I'm not going to turn with him, as that was actually one of the best options, because he flipped back around and is now currently trying to attack my 6. So I dive away as fast as possible, try to gain as much speed as possible, as he just cannot keep up. So I pull him towards the ground. As I look, and I basically just gain the balls to pull and try to see if I can get lucky with a head-on sort of situation, as I accumulate a lot of G's, and I just throw as many rounds as possible. He doesn't hit me. We have a very, very close merge as I roll. I was debating on pulling, getting right behind him, but I'm glad I didn't, as I just get a decent ways away again, and I want to get a little bit more comfortable how far I've gotten away, because I still will always, if I dive towards the ground, I'll always beat him. So I pull, and we get into another turn, kind of hoping that I'll have like another situation like the last one. So I get my gun sight ready and I just start throwing rounds out. I'm not concerned with the sight, as I just try to get as many rounds as possible. I hit him, he hits me, he rips off my wing as we collide. So I immediately know what to do. I bail out. So what I did was my wing tore off, opened my canopy and bailed out, or dropped myself out of the aircraft as his aircraft goes and crashes toward the ground. His pilot was unable to bail, and according to my mid-air rules, I win this round because I'm the only one alive. The last round. So I open up my radiator fully and I boost. I go full wet. This could continue my streak of wins, even though I did have that one draw, but I still count it. Do I keep that open or do I lose? And I didn't want to lose this one. We'll have to see how this round goes. But essentially, we both split off after I hardcore head-on merge. I mean, neither one of us really budged. I threw as many rounds out as possible. So I was hoping for, you know, another success round, like 3 or 4. Really kind of hoping something like that as I dive towards the ground. I mean, just gaining absolute amount of speed, as you can tell. But I still couldn't get enough distance from this guy. So I'm trying to gain it as much as I can, but as I look back, like, I don't know, but I take a gamble. You know, I'm ready to take a gamble on it as I kind of start pulling, because I do have that 2-kilometer buffer, but I am going to be very quick with it. So I pull around right here, don't pull any G's, or very little, and I just start throwing rounds out. As I throw rounds out, bam, and you can hear my RPMs just absolutely shoot up. And if you know what happens to engines, you know that I just lost the round. So actually this is funny because the story, whenever I was flying, not flying, when I was driving my truck, my truck engine blew up. It did the exact same thing before it shut off. It had just shot up RPMs and I went, oh god. And so I knew as soon as I heard those RPMs shoot up, after like 3 or 4 rounds hit my aircraft, just perfect shots on my engine. Doesn't matter how much damage I do to him, it'll still end up in a draw. And if that was the case, then it would be another draw. But yeah, so I just have to force land my aircraft. And that is one of the most painful things I had to do. I didn't even want to brake. I was like, you know what, screw it. If I crash and I explode, then I crash and I explode. And it was just terrible because I just lost. It was super painful. But as soon as I heard those RPMs shoot up, I was like, oh, I just lost. And I mean, I took a huge gamble on that head-on, but I was hoping that I could do some damage to him like round 3 or round 4. Hoping I could repeat it, but I couldn't. So let's see the win screen. Well, guys, that's all she wrote. That's my first loss, and that hurts. It does, but it is what it is. And I mean, I tried my best, fighting against a very, very good Japanese aircraft that if you don't get guns on or jump out of the sky, you will lose. It just is one of those things. I tried my best, and you know, IL-2 1946 is one of those few games where if I die, I don't get frustrated with the bot. I blame it on myself because, you know, honestly, he's constrained. You know, the bot is constrained to their aircraft. They're not going to do something that you can't do yourself. And so, when, you know, when stuff like that happens, or, you know, they just get a genuinely lucky shot, I'm like, it is what it is. It sucks, but hopefully y'all enjoyed today's video. This was an intense dogfight. I was really hoping I would win at the end, or have another mid-air and draw, or have some sort of draw, but that wasn't the case. Well, hope y'all enjoyed watching the video. I had a lot of fun making it, so enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.